Hey everybody, happy Equinox Eve. It's Shreen Vishmaya in India, and I'm in my temporary apartment here, getting ready for the equinox. I just did a IG live with my friend Christina Caudill. We're doing a class tomorrow night on the Mars-Venus transmissions. You should totally join us there. And it's tomorrow, if you're watching this on the 21st, it's happening Tuesday, the 22nd at 9 p.m. So Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. So check it out. It's on my website. I'll put a link below. And yeah, so it got me thinking I should jump on here to talk about all the big shifts happening as we move into this new season. The sun is shifting signs into Libra in the tropical zodiac. And of course, Mars is still retrograding, and people have been asking me why they're so exhausted lately. I've been so exhausted, as I was just saying on that other channel, and just beyond exhausted the last couple days. And I think it's a few things. I think because Mars has been in a contentious relationship to both of the luminaries, the sun and the moon. So the sun in Virgo and the moon in Scorpio today, both of these energies not good. So because Mars does not have a easy time with Scorpio or with Virgo when he's in Aries. Rather, Aries does not have a good time, I should say, with the sign Scorpio or Virgo. Those are the enemy signs. So we're all feeling that it's a draining energy. It's a very draining energy. That, and then also in the sidereal system, the nodes are changing signs, and we're feeling that as well because it's on a Gandanta point. So we're really feeling that move from fire to water, especially with K2, because the south node of K2 in the sidereal zodiac is moving into Scorpio, and I really feel that. And you're probably feeling it too in the Scorpio area of your horoscope. So it's an emotional time. The moon's in Scorpio. It's a time when we need to really get back into balance. That's the key. And it's also a time when we're feeling a lot of extraction happening, a lot of deep purification. Of course, the sun in Virgo is a really powerful purification process that we're under. And let's not forget that, you know, we just had this new moon in Virgo, which was initiating this purification. And so I feel like the next several weeks, you know, up to the next 6 months till we have that full moon in Virgo, 6 months from now, think of the purification that has started and just really deepen your commitment to it. And it's a great time to, of course, do all of those down-to-earth ritualistic things, getting organized, cooking for yourself so that you eat healthier, cooking healthy things for yourself. I've been on this kick where I'm like loving cooking, as I might have mentioned in one of my other videos when Venus was in Cancer. I really got into the cooking thing. It's also, I think, a preview of Rahu going into Taurus soon. And it's, you know, it's a good time for just all of the self-care practices right now. Really taking good care of yourself and slowing down. That's been a big theme with this Mars retrograde. Slowing down. I like what Rick Levine was saying earlier in one of his forecasts about how Mars does like to get into the combative energy, even if it's just on an energetic level, not actually physical, and that regardless of where the conflict is coming from, that we, during this time, it's really important to rein our energy in and be really mindful and cautious and pick our battles really. If we even have to battle, it's just better not to, because we can get burnt out so easily, even just by negative thoughts, you know, even by judgmental or shadow energies that could come in, whether it's, you know, all of those lower forms of all those negative thought forms, lower negative thought forms like anger, jealousy, greed, judgment, competition, envy, I already said. All of those lower forms, we have to be really mindful of extracting those before they get a chance to take root and influence our behavior. So this is an important, really important theme for the next several weeks. And think about ways to purify, think about ways to work with your Mars energy. Think of ways now that Mercury is going to be also heightened over the next several weeks as he gets ready for his retrograde station. He's going to retrograde. And when he's in retrograde, he's going to be also having this conflict with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. So there's going to be a lot of deep mental processing going on over the next several weeks as well. So some of the big themes I feel right now are letting go of judgment, letting go of selfishness. You know, we're looking at the shadow of narcissism. I've been talking about this in so many of my classes. I'm right in the midst of this series. Tomorrow, actually, if you can join, I think I mentioned already, the Mars Venus earlier in the video. Yes, I did, sorry. As I said, exhausted. We'll be talking about narcissism and codependency in that video, as well as Mars Venus themes. And I've been, speaking of the Scorpio deep dive, just really entrenched in studying this for the last several months, wanting to really understand this phenomenon, especially seeing how we're in a collective narcissistic injury. All of us are looking at where narcissism as a collective phenomenon has really harmed us and why it's been created in the first place. I talked about that in my last class with Christina, Narcissism in the Age of COVID. So if you didn't catch that, you can still get the replay of that class. But I've been really deeply influenced by the work of Sam Vaknin. He's done some really great work on the collective narcissism, especially. So you check out his videos too. His personality might be a little hard to take for some people, and he is a self-proclaimed narcissist, but because of that, he knows that he lives in the head of himself, obviously, and he's also quite a committed scholar when it comes to the research and conveying the research and the statistics on everything. So, but at the same time, he also lives it, so you're getting the perspective of somebody from inside their head, so you really understand how this psychology works. And in general, as I've been saying, I've been really in the throes of a lot of wanting to research psychology from many angles, actually, and just digging back into a lot of old texts and things that I was interested in back in college and pulling it back up, and also reviving my interest in a lot of metaphysics too, and of course spiritual studies here. So it's been a blessing to have all this time. So whenever you feel the constraining energies of this Saturn and Capricorn, look at the opportunities as well of how much we've been able to learn, especially with Rahu being in Gemini during this lockdown. It's been a great time to really feed our minds, hopefully with information that furthers your spiritual growth and your psychological understanding of yourself, and deepening your wisdom. So we want to seek information that does that, obviously, all of that. And recommitting to our practices. Saturn's about to turn direct at the end of the month, and it's a great time to, I'm getting quiet because people are going to bed now here in India. I'm only late night, no, only late, but in my little neighborhood here, it seems like everybody goes to bed pretty early. But Saturn's about to turn direct at the end of the month, and that's going to be a big shift for us, as well as hopefully redoubling our commitment to our practices. If you've fallen off some of your practices, your rituals, things that you know support you on a spiritual, psychological, and physical level, emotional level, double down on your commitment, recommit. This is a great time for that, especially with this earth energy with Virgo. It's so good to get into our practices and to refine and edit our lives so that we're not wasting time when we have that support of the earth. The Virgo Capricorn contingency is great for time management skills and not wasting our time, not wasting our resources. Really look at where your time and energy are going and cut out all the superfluous. A lot of people are like, I'm getting off social media, and maybe it doesn't have to be as drastic as just like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but being really mindful and conscious about our consumption and the way we use it, and not allowing it to use us. I think that's a good principle in general with many things. And we can look at there's obviously a lot of gifts from social media as well. There's a lot of destruction as well, like anything else, but let's use it in a way that it supports us and enhances our growth rather than pulls us into some trip that we don't want to be on, takes us down into the lower realms, like those negative thought forms that I mentioned earlier. There's a beautiful Shivananda prayer we used to do all the time that before I met Alma, I studied with Shivananda, And we used to do this prayer every day that was like, O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Free us from egoism, lust, anger, greed, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. So there's more, but that I wanted to get to that point of the prayer because that's really beautiful. And then, of course, it's a beautiful prayer. It ends with let us serve thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember thee. Let us ever sing thy glory. Let thy name be ever upon our lips. Let us abide in thee forever and ever. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I think I'll end it on that note. Thanks for watching.